Is what you're communicating really communicating, or is it just noise? It's Mornings with Mark. I enjoy bringing these to you. And I got really thinking this morning about all of the levels of communication and yet how screwed up communication is. And don't go pointing fingers at other people. I point fingers at myself. And I can't help but think about how there are times when I might communicate with somebody and I think they're understanding one thing and yet they're hearing something totally else. I get a communication from somebody and I read it one way and yet they meant it totally different. And I go, why is this? And I think it's because we are really afraid to confront. We are afraid to confront. We are afraid to deal with communication in the way it should be, person to person. What I see happening is so many times it's so much easier just to send a text message or send a message on LinkedIn or just send them an email real quick. And we think the situation's taken care of. And all we've done is compounded this situation. We've made it worse versus picking up the phone and having a conversation. As I've been thinking about this morning, I couldn't help but think back when I was a kid growing up. My mom every week would take one evening every week, and dutifully write a handwritten letter to her mother. She lived out of town. She lived several hours away. And she would spend hours crafting this letter to her mom. And every week, she in turn would receive a letter from her mom. And that was their primary form of communication. And then on Sunday nights, they would get together on the phone for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. You know, that was back in the days when you paid for long distance, right? And it was interesting, but the communication they had was very clear, and yet it wasn't drawn out. It was a handwritten letter. Yeah, it was several pages, a phone call. But there was clarity in the message. Now, I think because of all the noise and the different ways with which we expect people to have picked up this message or picked up that message. And then it's compounded by the fact that we think because we're sending a message, we're changing somebody's opinion. We're not changing anybody's opinion. Rarely does that happen, especially in this politicized era we live in. I see this on Facebook all the time. All we're doing is ranting. It might make us feel good, but you know what? All we're doing is adding fuel to the fire. I think our challenge is really to step back and communicate with clarity by picking up the phone and calling, having a conversation with the person. Not entertaining things. I had a friend tell me one time, he says, you think about this, we communicate more in a 1-minute phone call than we do in 5 or 6 emails. And you're right, we do. Why is it that we're so afraid to pick up the phone and make the call? Make the call, have the conversation. It's amazing what happens, and it's amazing the opportunities that arise, especially when we have the mindset of clarity of the message. Hey, it's Mornings with Mark. I enjoy bringing these to you. Share these with some other people, would you? I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Great selling.